Good evening and welcome to SAFC Fan TV. And are you all right, Terry? All right? Sound like you're dying there. And another edition of the Sunday Bunch live. Joining myself tonight, we've got our special guest there. Emma Hansen is with us. Hello, Emma. How's your day been?
Not too bad. I've had a little drive out in my new car. Went my mum's, come home and cooked a pie.
You've been twocking and you've got a new car, did you say?
Cooked a pie.
Right, all right then. Cooked a pie. Terry with us. How's your day been, Terry?
Decorating again. Just had a nice takeaway because I've been busy all day, been for me 4 or 5 mile runs. So happy days, watching the news, keeping up to date, what's going on in the world. Feeling fantastic, Philly.
Right. And we've been joined by Jack Shields as well. Jack, how's your day been?
Yeah, all right, fairly boring, not done much, just watched a lot of football, sat on the settee and not really moved. So good day in my eyes.
Right, fair enough. You would think after that 3-0 win down at Wigan, we'd all be really happy. But Terry's been chatting to us before we came on live, and it's all doom and gloom now. Don't forget, of course, we are live, which means you can join us via the live chat if you would like to have your say. Already on there, first up tonight is the Las Palmas Mackham, as he normally is. David Walker's on there, Robert Foster, Ryan McCormack, Jimmy Adrach, I think it is. Told you, lads, the live stream trip, it would be a Rotherham Sunderland double. And just listen to the wise one. Up the Millers is what he says. Philip Atkinson's on there as well. John Forbes, Mickey Stewart, Marion Trowell's friend of the show, all there as well. So we went down to Wigan. Wigan 0, Sunderland 3. Jack, do you want to kick us off? Your overall thoughts on the game yesterday?
Yeah, very good game from Sunderland. I thought we played fantastic, to be fair, throughout the whole match. Really interesting to see a good team performance, everyone fighting for it, creating chances. I thought we had several players that stood out. Obviously, Ross Stewart got his 2 goals. I thought Lyndon Gooch was much improved. Alex Pritchard, I thought, was phenomenal. Jamalji, who's just played very few games and minutes for Sunderland, came in and looked like he'd played all season and been a top player. So, yeah, I think overall, not many people would have expected that result. I think least of all myself and more Sunderland supporters going down. You always get the optimistic Sunderland fans like you, Phil, that think we're going to win every game. But I think realistically, most people didn't really expect Sunderland to go down there and turn them over like we did. But I really don't think 3-0 flattered us. I think we were better in every aspect of the game. We defended better. We won the 50-50s, created more chances, took more chances. And yeah, everyone was pleasantly surprised. It was one of the best away days of the season. Probably the best result of the season overall, I'd say as well.
Yeah, Jack. Well, even the most positive of Sunderland fans, meaning me, predicted a 2-0 Wigan win. So that's shame
on you all! Shame on you all!
Oh, everybody now knows all that. Oh, I told you so, and all that. Just very quickly, back on the chat there. Let's try and give everybody a shout out. Trevor Duddin says, Terry, how big is your house? Apparently, you're always stripping and decorating. Terry actually lives in a mansion, very wealthy. Always plays it down. Renzi's got no money. Harry Ross says, hello, Emma, and hello, the lads. Karen, my lovely wife, says, evening, lads, and Emma. Let's go to Emma then. You was at the game yesterday. What did you think?
It was good, to be honest. We come out fighting. I think getting the early goal, it gave us that confidence that we needed, something that we've lacked the last few games. But as well, is it the fact that Wigan played so poor, so we looked better? It's a bit of a tricky one because are we going to play like that against Charlton? I can't say it, to be honest. Because, like I say, we got the early goal. We got them couple of penalties. If we didn't get the penalties, what would have happened? Would Wigan have scored another 2 and beat with 2-1?
Would have scored 5, man.
Because, like Jack said, nobody really expected to go down there and win, did we? I mean, I said we were going to win for weeks. That'd be our first win under Neil. So is it a case of Neil's worked with the team and he knows how they're going to play now? or is it just a case of it's a one-off? Like I say, we did look really good defensively, brilliant. Midfield looked good. Is it because Pritchard wasn't on the left? He had a really good game.
Well, hopefully, hopefully we've found a formula, and that Alex Neil's been looking for, and we can continue with this. Just quickly back on the chat, Emma, your husband's on there saying that you brought him the telly. Apparently, SPGA. I stand with Ukraine, and also says about the flag. Yeah, we've done the flag background. Just a bit of solidarity towards what's happening in over in Ukraine. Harry Ross says, as a Newcastle fan, I'd like to see Sunderland back in the Premier League. It will make it so interesting. Well, the gap's gonna grow between yourselves and us, but thanks for that, Harry. Anyway, Christopher Lee says, I all up by Easter. I haven't got a clue what he's talking about. Terry, yesterday then, a nice 3-0 down at Wigan. Apparently you predicted it.
Not only me, the only other optimistic person on the panel was Jacob. We both said 1-0 on the Thursday night show, so it's there down as proof. Proof's in the pudding, and it's been eaten. Just
very quickly, I will give it to Emma. Emma did say as well before the game, she was saying that and she felt this was the game where I was going to turn it around, and we got that win. So Emma deserves a bit of credit there.
Brilliant, that's what we want. People like that, people like me and Emma and Jacob, on the positive side. All you doom and gloomers, all you doominators out there who think we're going to get beat every single game, shame on you all.
You're the most negative person I know, man.
I never expected a 3-0 win, though. I never expected a 3-0 win, and I've been saying for weeks that Abhijit Jamaji should be playing at centre-back. We got a centre-back there. Why isn't he being playing? It's taken until probably Bart's getting injured and Doyle's being completely off his legs to actually put him in there. And he proved all the doubters wrong. That's at the club, clearly, because a lot of fans wanted him to start. For me, he had a really good game, got his head on all the balls. When he needed to put the ball out and the touch, he did that. Pritchard back at number 10 role, played really well. I was surprised how good Winchester was at right back. Had a great game at right back. Patterson in goal, I thought was fantastic. I thought Patterson's getting stronger, getting better as each game goes on. And for me, he has to stay in goal over Hoffman all day long. For me, he's never been dropped at the start of the season. He's never been dropped at the start of the season because I thought Patterson, after his first couple of games at the start of the season, was perfectly fine. No reason to drop him. So hopefully he'll grow. I was watching Patterson before the season started, and a lot of crosses were coming in the box as well, Patterson, and he was claiming every single one. So he's got a good pair of hands and just needs a bit of confidence, a bit of time. The midfield, Matete is so athletic and so nimble. He gets his head on every ball. His legs are up around his neck. I just don't know how he does it, but he is. He gets his body wherever other people couldn't possibly do it. So Matete had another good game yesterday. I thought it was an all-round team performance. Cirkin improved as the game went on, had one of his best games of the season. Just Alex Neil must have just got this formation to click, got the team to work together in. It's the best sort of all-round team performance I've seen for a long time, where they were playing for each other, playing for the great fans in the crowd, and playing for the manager. So again, spot on, 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. Just back onto the chat. Bethany Spence says, you look bored, mum. There you go. And also, where was it? Oh, yeah, Tam says, the worry is the next game. Is it going to be the side that downed tools for 2 months or the one that turned up at Wigan? I have no idea. So don't forget, you can have your say via the chat. Shout out to the Adopted Mackham Show, which is, I believe, the new name for Carl's new channel there. So check that out as well. Tony Lee says, no V's, Jeff. Haven't got a clue what he's on about. But I'm sure he does. All right, then yesterday, our second penalty. Right. Was it a penalty? And I mean, I don't know if you've seen it on the telly and stuff like that. Emma, do you want to start with that? Have you seen it back? What was that? Was that a penalty?
To be honest, I haven't actually watched it back, but it was given. But at the end of the day, if we say it wasn't, sorry, I'll put my teeth back in. If it wasn't a penalty, we'd be shouting for it. And if it was, we're getting it. So to me, we're getting it. It's a goal. It's what we've needed. We've scored off it.
Right, fair enough. I mean, I believe it's because, I mean, we didn't have a clue what what it was for. I know it's we've since said it was handball when we're seeing it. I've tried to watch it over and I can't even see it myself, but I'm sure the referee must have been well pleased to give that. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to Proud to be Posh, who's donated £2 via the super chat. Says, evening Mackhams, hope you're all okay. Can we have a round of applause, please? We're proud to be posh. And don't forget, of course, the channel doesn't make a profit, and it does cost money to run, so anything what comes in is gratefully accepted. And you can donate if you'd like to via the super chat. There is a little $sign at the bottom of the live chat. Just click on that, select the amount you'd like to donate, and that will be gratefully appreciated and does help with the running of the channel. Terry, penalty. I mean, you'll have done a live stream yesterday, did you?
I did live streams yesterday, and when it first was given, I didn't know what for, but when I watched it back, it was a clear handball. He had his hand above his head, touched his hand. I mean, how blatant do you want it to be? You know, end of the day, if your hand's up there and it hits your hand, it's a penalty, simple as. We've had loads of decisions go against us this season, so it's about time we had a couple going for us. We got 2 penalties. The referee wasn't the best referee in the world. You know, didn't have a great game. I'm not saying he was on Sunderland's side or on their side, but for me, it's this typical League One official at this moment in time. But for me, it was a clear penalty all day long.
Right. I mean, you mentioned the referee there as well. I mean, we've had worse referees, and I suppose. But when we did the fan cam interviews after the game, and we had a Wigan fan come past, and he was going absolutely ballistic about the referee, saying how he was on our side, and you know, we had 12 men and all this, and really wasn't happy with the referee. Terry?
They put some meaty challenges in yesterday, and the referee didn't give us much, to be honest. We got a yellow card, a few yellow cards for no reason. So I think it evened itself out over the game. But I mean, when it's a penalty, you have to give it. It's a penalty, otherwise you're cheating. Both of those penalties were clear-cut penalties in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying when we was at the game, I mean, I was saying I didn't think that the referee gave us a lot, to be honest. So I certainly don't think he was on our side. It's just, like I said, we, you know, this particular Wigan fan was going absolutely off it, you know, about the referee. By the way, the fan cam interviews are on our channel. If you've not seen them yet, find out what the fans thought when they left the grounds yesterday. Jack, have you watched the penalty back, our second penalty?
It's hard to see, Phil, where we were, because it was down the other end of the pitch, so I didn't really shout for it. I guessed it was handball because it was a bit of a scramble. It was similar to the one that we got given against us at Wimbledon the other week, whereby it kind of bobbles up and hits a hand. I wasn't too fussed, to be honest, because I think the second goal was more important for me. Once we got that 2-0 up, we looked fairly comfortable. So it was late on as well. I think it was the last few minutes. So, I mean, it seemed Terry's seen it more than I have, and he says it's a penalty, so I'll take his word for it. But I don't think it made much of a difference in the result, because I think Wigan had had enough by then, and I thought we were seeing the game out anyway. So another goal for Ross Stewart, though. I think that takes him to 22, I think, for the season, I believe. So it's another goal for him, which, you know, the more goals, the more confidence he'll get, the better. But I think it didn't make a difference anyway. 2-0 or 3-0, we're winning the game either way.
I'll bring in just now, Terry. Yeah, the more goals he gets, the bigger chance we've got of losing him next season as well. Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, just to do with the 2 penalties. The one that Doyle gave away against Wimbledon, that was like he had no chance of moving his body out the way and his arms by his side. But yesterday, he had his hand up above his head and the cross came across and touched his hand. So, I mean, I don't understand what more it could be. It's definitely a penalty, you know?
Yeah, it's, I mean, we always says, I mean, I'm a firm believer that it does even itself out over a season. You know, we've had games where we've wanted them, not got them, and all they've gone against us. So all I can say is that I don't think anybody, I think it was a surprise to every Sunderland fan who was actually down there. So, but the referee must have been well placed to chuck that in and give it. Right, Jack, were we really good yesterday, or were Wigan a bit poor?
I think a little bit of both. You look at their recent results; they haven't lost many this season. I think that's 3 times we've beaten them. Now, isn't it, twice in the league and once in the cup? But you know, for them to be riding so high, they must have played. They can't have played many games like that. So I think it was a bit of both. But I thought we were excellent in every department, as I touched on earlier. I think we won all of the 50-50 battles. We covered more ground than they did. We got the ball into better areas. We created better chances. So I think it was maybe a combination of both. I think it was more so us playing well, though, because we seemed to lift our game. I don't know whether it was the fact that Wigan had a couple of ex-Sunderland players, whether it was the 5,000 fans that were there, whether we're beating them a couple of times already and we had the number a little bit. I really don't know, but it was just, you compare yesterday's performance, everybody fighting, everybody grafting for each other. You compare that to the last few, the defeats we had at, Cheltenham and Doncaster at home, Wimbledon withdrew, Burton really didn't play well in any of those games. I mean, we've only won one of the last 10 before yesterday. And yesterday we looked like as soon as we got that first goal, we were on it. I think Emma touched on it. We got an early goal, and I think that really did help us. And I agree. I think it settled us down, gave us a little bit of confidence. And we're really starting to knock the ball about and play some really good football like we did at times under Lee Johnson. So I think it was a combination of both. But I think really, the thing is now, can we take that in the next few weeks? I think all we've really needed is one result. We need one win, lift confidence, get a bit of momentum back. So hopefully this is a trigger now. You don't want to be talking about another performance against Charlton. You want to keep going to that level, and hopefully it spurs us on a little bit. And that was the end of our bad run, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Just very quickly on the chat, Dave O'Mac says the Wigan players didn't dispute either penalty, which always says a lot. Superman says, Emma, please blow me a kiss.
Just there you
go. John Campbell says we have the best striker in the league yet again. Come on, lads, 100% commitment. Rest of the games, we may still go up autos. Lol. Terry, were we really good yesterday, or were Wigan poor?
Yeah, I think we were a lot improved, much improved yesterday compared to previous games. I thought, he's had a bit more time, Alex Neil, to work with the team now, getting the team on side. It's been a lot of unrest in the whole Sunderland situation over the last few weeks, which hasn't really helped the whole situation. Confidence has been down. But with that early goal, like both of them said, they put Wigan on the back foot straight away, and they're under pressure straight away, and they just didn't know how to respond. They were putting high balls in the box. Max Power seemed to be getting angry all of the time and just trying to get players sent off. So I think we just totally riled them from the off, and every player was just working the socks off, chasing men down, which is great to see. We have the ability to do that. We just don't always do it. Now it's all about getting this, to do this game in, week out, regardless who scores first. If we can, even if we let a goal in first against Charlton, we've got to put this sort of effort in all the way through the match. And, we'll come back and we'll end up winning. So, I thought we deserved the victory. I thought we were the better side, and I thought Wigan looked very tired. And I think they changed their tactics once we scored the goal. They were putting high balls in, when I think I've been told by a few Wigan fans that don't normally do that.
Yeah, well, we interviewed a Wigan fan on the fan cams, and he said he couldn't understand it because their game is always they played on the ground. He said he was just I don't know why they changed it, and so maybe that was something. Quickly on the chat, Michael Bramley says, hopefully this is the start of something special, but please don't forget that most of our owners will be relishing this. We will slightly touch on that a little bit later on. David K in the chat said Wigan had 2-for-1 tickets in the ground was still empty. Wigan actually had every season ticket holder was given 2 free tickets, which is why every time I've been to Wigan, and I'm sure Jack, you listened a few times, it was fuller than it normally is. I mean, my dad went down. My dad's friend's a season ticket holder, and he got one of those free tickets in there. So they still didn't sell it, fill it anyway. Emma, were we really good, or did Wigan make us just look good?
We were really good, but at the same time, I think Wigan were playing crap compared to the way they have been playing. But you find with Sunderland, we'll always play well against the top teams. We'll go out and give up at all. So yeah, we were good yesterday. Everybody put a shift in for a change. Everybody was like, no, we're coming out. We're putting this shift in. We're going to play football. And they amazed us, to be honest with you. I really didn't expect to watch the game I did with the way they played.
Right. Okay. David Jones makes a comment there, which I won't read out. We flashed it up quickly, but it made me smile. Right. Okay, then. So, what about a shining light from yesterday, then? A man of the match for you. Who was the one who sort of stood out in that brilliant victory, which none of us predicted and none of us expected? Terry.
Man of the match, well, it's difficult because there's a lot of good players yesterday. I mean, a lot of players that played out of their skin. You had Stewart, who scored a brace, of course. It never stops running around. You know, you come back to defend corners and he's always up and down the pitch. So endless energy from Stewart. I thought Jamaji's first game, you know, been out for so long with the injury to come into the side in a massive, one of the biggest games of the season for Sunderland this season. And to be so, you know, even one or two little errors, but, you know, he's going to be rusty. And I thought he improved the side with him being in the side. I thought he played really well. Pritchard again ran his socks off, was all over the park, giving 110%. But for me, I'm going to give it to Patterson in goal. You know, a lot of people seem to want to criticise Patterson at times, but I think yesterday he claimed a lot of crosses. He did everything right. He was coming out the box when he needed to. He was in the right place at the right time, and of course a clean sheet. So fantastic. Patterson, for me, young lad, needs the confidence. He's getting better with every game, and he could be, you know, really good going forward. So for me, Patterson.
Right. Bit of a surprise for me, that. But funny enough, Jack Dodds said exactly the same. I didn't think he had that much to do. But so Jack was saying that the bits he did have to do, he did really well. And he came out and sort of, you know, commanded his area. And so, obviously, you must have seen what you did. Plus, Jack was screaming at Patterson behind the goal like a little girl, Patto, and all this as well. You mentioned about Zamajli there as well. We did talk about it on these shows, the last few, that, you know, word was coming out that maybe he just wasn't good enough, and that's why he wasn't being played. But, you know, he wasn't too bad yesterday.
It's good to see that he can prove people wrong, though, isn't it? I mean, people don't think he is, but he's come in and he's done a job. So for me, that's just spot on.
All right. Emma, man of the match, shining light for you yesterday?
There was a few. I think Gooch played really well. He was winning his balls. He actually put his heart on his sleeve and played the best he's played in I don't know how long, to be honest. Matete, whatever you want to call him.
You say Matete, I say Matete. Well, let's call the whole thing off.
He looked quite good, to be fair. He had a good game. But I think Pritchard did well. I think Pritchard was more of a captain than what Evans was. In all honesty, I think Pritchard was there for everything that we needed. I think with every game, Pritchard gets better and better. And so I'm going to give my man the match to Pritchard.
Yeah, we had a few for Pritchard yesterday on the fan cams. Just very quickly, Stuart Diggle says it was 2 free tickets per season ticket holder for Wigan fans. Great performance and looked organised. This does not allow Donald and Methan off the hook, though. Like we say, we will sort of touch on that a little bit further in. Jack, man of the match for you yesterday?
The ones I touched on, I think, you know, Emma and Terry have already pretty much covered it, but I thought Pritchard was excellent. He won a lot of, he was the key creative force for us, as he normally is, threading balls through. Ross Stewart purely on goals alone, but the fact he led the line so well, defended so well as well when Wigan did play a lot of high balls, a lot of long balls, and particularly from set pieces. I thought Stewart helped us out. Matete was excellent as ever. I don't think he's had a bad game for us so far. He's exactly what we need, winning balls in the middle. Gooch, much improved. You know, put a shift in. I think someone put a tweet across whereby it was like Lyndon Gooch emptying his pockets at the end of the day, and it was his wallet, it was his keys, it was his phone, and James McLean in his pocket as well. And the Sunderland fans obviously gave James McLean a bit of stick, but he didn't get a kick with Lyndon Gooch. So I think that those ones that we've touched on. But I thought really Jamalji came back in as well, as we've touched on Jamalji for his first game and first proper game. You know, he looked like he'd been playing 25, 30 games and he was assured. But I think really, rather than individual, I just thought it was a really good all-round team performance. Everyone covered a lot of ground. Everyone worked for each other. And we really made Wigan look like a bang average team. I know we beat them already this season, but I thought they would be a lot better. They would want to prove a couple of wrongs from early in the season. But no, that we made them look rank average, and they're probably going to get automatic promotion at the end of the year. It's just frustrating from a Sunderland fan's point of view when we play like that against one of the top teams in the league, and yet we can't get that level when we're playing a lower team. And I think also Wigan coming out at us helps us, because Wigan are one of those few teams in the league that we will really have a go at us. Same as Rotherham. I know Rotherham obviously battered us, but the top teams tend to have a go at us, which is why I think we prefer an open game. We don't like a team that gets 1-0 up against us and grafts and time wastes and parks the bus, so to speak. So I think, sometimes playing against a team that will attack us a little bit, does work in our favour. But yeah, it's just an all-round great team performance. I thought everyone was 7 or 8 out of 10 yesterday.
Yes, without a doubt. I'll go to the chat just very quickly. I want to say a massive thank you to Dawn Stavely, a super sticker she's purchased for £2, which will go to help the running costs of the channel. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Dawn for donating? Thank you to you for that. Sharon Swinow on the chat says Patterson, man of the match, used his box well, slowed the game down when he had to. John Campbell says, my man of the match, the fans for turning up after putting up with 10 games prior to this. I think most of the fans we spoke to going down was saying, we're not going down for the match, we're going down for the day out, and had more or less written the game off. But going up, in the second minute, going 1 up was just a great start in front of the fans as well. Who's won, Terry?
Liverpool have won. Get in.
Right, apparently. So there you go.
11-10 on penalties. Bloody hell.
So that was that's the Carabao.
Spoiler, my stream's behind.
Sorry, mate.
So there you go. You just ruined that for Jack. Just very quickly as well, we've got over 150 people on the stream. We've got 66 likes. We like to at least try and hit 100 if we can on a Sunday. Just hit that thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do so. And also, more importantly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit the button. It's free to subscribe. And at the time of coming on, we was only 4 subscribers away from 8.4. So if we get at least 4 of you just to hit that subscribe button, that will help the channel also. And it is free to subscribe. Right then, so nice 3-0 win. Back on track, hopefully. Playoffs, top 2 or neither. Emma, we'll start with you on that. What do you think?
I've said for the past 2 weeks we'll be lucky to make the playoffs. I don't think we're going to go up in top 2. That's given because obviously, I mean, Rotherham's on what, 76 points, 75 points? I mean, Wigan's only, 66? So we're not that far behind, but Wigan has got them 3 games in hand on with. But then you've also got to think, is Wigan now going to start to tire? Because they've got that many games to play back to back. I'm going to say now we will make the playoffs, but I don't think we're going to go up. I think we'll fall in the playoffs because we'll get to Wembley and we'll never win at Wembley.
Right, okay. Rotherham on 75 points, 34 played. Wigan are on 66, 32 played. The thing is, though, and we're all going about these games in hand, and it was only after we lost to Bolton at 6-0, everybody was saying, right, forget top. Wigan's won this league. This is Wigan's league. They've won it. And here we are now, Wigan have, it's Rotherham's title now. And it just shows that, there's still a lot of games to play and anything can happen because it was Wigan's, really. I mean, the amount of games they had in hand and stuff like that. But they've hit a little blip and, they've got a lot of games to play. They're going to be tired. We did ask the Wigan fan we interviewed yesterday about the games in hand, and he said, same old story. You'd rather have the points in the bag. And there's even people saying now that Wigan might actually not go up automatically, but who knows? Jack, playoffs, top 2 or neither?
Top 2's gone. I think the top 2 went with a bad run, to be fair, Phil. I think it would have been close if we'd kept up 2 points a game. But I think now, even if we win How many games have we got left? 11 is going to give us 33 points. Even if we win all 11, which isn't going to happen, I think we'll be touch and go in that scenario. So I think I've written off top 2. Even though when people were saying how bad form's gone, I was still saying I think we can get in the playoffs. And I think that's realistically where we are. I think we're probably maybe fourth best team in this league, 4th or 5th best team in this league. So I think that's probably where we'll finish. I've said Rotherham from the start, though, to be fair, Phil. I think if you check earlier on in the season, I think I've said Rotherham are going to win the league.
Well, we will run back because I'm not having you jumping in now when they're running away with it and getting the glory.
I've said from the start Rotherham, and the people in the chat can back us up on that one. I just think Rotherham are a little bit stronger, and I think Wigan have had a bit of a wobble yesterday, but I still think it's Rotherham and Wigan's to lose with the games in hand. I expect Wigan to go up. But I know what you mean. This is an inconsistent league, you know what I mean? And you can, hopefully that's our blip over with, you know what I mean? We've had a bad run there, 1 win in 10 or whatever it was, and hopefully that's our bad run finished. And now we can go into the playoffs on the back of a winning run, because the last twice, as I've touched on, I think under Jack Ross under 2019, and Lee Johnson last year, we've gone on the back of it on bad runs. I think 1 win in 8 under Ross and 1 win in 7 last season. So I think that the team that has a good chance in the playoffs, the team that goes in with a bit of momentum, a bit of form, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping from now until the end of the season, the last 11 games, we'll win as many as possible, and we're confident and we're flying going into them, so that teams come to the stadium like for the home leg, their away leg, our home leg, are thinking, I don't want to play Sunderland, full crowd, and they're in form. So that's the best I can hope for. I've kind of written off automatics.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. You have said that about previous seasons. We've gone into into the playoffs where we've been on a bad run. Whereas now, hopefully, having that 10 games what we've just had, hopefully that's replaced what would have normally been at the end of the season, and now we pick ourselves up. And what better way to do it? I was all for writing. I've said there's plenty of games left, and I was saying we've got 12 games to play from yesterday. We'll write Wigan off, and then from there we've got these 11 games to go. But to beat Wigan, in their own backyard, and what better boost to give us to start that momentum now and going into the playoffs? A bit like Emma. If we get the final, I'm going to Wembley, not expecting to win. I'm sick of upsetting myself. So, but the difference could be if we're that team that's got that momentum, that is the team what normally tends to go up. Terry, what do you think? Playoffs, top 2? There's
also that Alex Neil has previous in playoffs. He's been there, done that. He has the T-shirts. He knows what to do to get a team ready for a playoff final. So, he's only 41-year-old, but he's got the experience in the playoff final and the championship. Now, no, everyone seems to be not even mentioning MK Dons, even if Wigan fall to MK Dons might even come second, because they're in 3rd table at the moment for form table. They're doing really well. Level points with Wigan. Couple of games less. They played more, but if we only had Wigan to worry about catching up to, possibly, it's never over until it's over, the top 2. But with MK Dons being up there and clear now as well, the chances are of both of them faltering is very, very slim. So for me, playoffs, I like to think we get the playoffs now. Hopefully we get the playoffs. And if we make the playoffs, that fan's just to go up. Simple as.
Right. I see what you're saying about MK Dons. It is 2 teams to slip up. I think Wigan are going to bottle it with the because of the games in hand, and they're still in the FA Cup as well. Do we know? Are they still? I know that one of them is at least Rotherham or Wigan or whatever. But I think the MK Dons have been on a fantastic run, and I think at some point that's probably going to come to an end, and they're going to get a little blip. When I've been looking at it, Sheffield Wednesday below us are the ones, Luke, we've got to stay on our toes because they've got games in hand, over us. Someone on the chat says he can see Sunderland playing Wigan, or Harry Ross. I can see Sunderland playing Wigan in the playoffs, said down there. You're saying, Terry, that Alex Neil's got form in the playoffs. Did he do anything with Preston? Because I think Preston are the one team that's actually got a worse playoff record than what we have.
Has anybody ever done well with Preston? Come on, Preston don't have the money to spend. They never do that well. Who did?
David Moyes.
Aye.
Yeah.
But never been in the Premier League, have they? Never getting promoted from the Championship. So Alex Neil's getting a team that actually has a chance to get promoted from the Championship, which was Norwich. But obviously Preston have never really had that sort of that backing or the ability to get into the Premier League. So, never mind. I don't think he was fully backed. He's not going to have the money behind him, Alex Neil. They did at Norwich or at Sunderland. So I think, for me, I think he's a decent manager, probably the best we could have gotten out there at this moment in time after the whole Roy Keane scenario. So I think he's the man. If getting the playoffs, like I said before, you need the experience. He's experience. You know what to tell the team, how to bet the team up. But let's make the playoffs first. Let's make the playoffs first by continuing next week and getting this run going. Let's not make this win a blip. Let's make this win a run.
Yeah, fair enough. Just very quickly, over 200 people on the stream now, 93 likes. If 7 of you can hit that thumbs up, that'll hit the 100 for us. And don't forget, please subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to subscribe, and we're so close to 8.4 now. Emma, I'll ask you first. Do we keep the same team against Charlton now? We, good 3-0 win there against Wigan. Would you keep the same team, or do you think it still needs some changes?
Why change something that worked? Neil's been in 2 weeks now. It's all trial and error still with him. He picked a team yesterday. It seemed to work well. We won. So why not start with that team again on Saturday against Charlton? If it doesn't work, you can make changes at half time. You can bring Defoe on if he doesn't start Defoe. You can make them changes at half time and try and get a team to work. It's just all trial and error, but I think he should start with the same team.
Right, fair enough. Terry, do we, not change the winning team? Do we keep the same team, or when we go in against Charlton on Saturday?
Right, barring injuries, only a fool would change the team around after yesterday's performance. And let's face it, I mean, if all them players are fit, and I'm not the biggest Evans fan in a million years, but I wouldn't be tinkering around messing up the dimensions of the team now and the dynamics of the team when they played so well together. So for me, barring any injuries, you would never change that team after that performance yesterday. Never.
Right, fair enough. On the chat, Tam is saying, I'm wondering what Defoe is thinking right now. Will Allen is saying Clark in for Embleton. Emma, you want in there?
Speaking of Defoe, were you saying that you wonder what he thinks? Obviously, yesterday, I waited for the players. I said to Defoe, are you happy to be back? And he said yes. And I said, no, your response is, what do you think? And he actually
Right, okay.
So he must be thinking, what's he done to come back, to be honest?
I mean, he's with Defoe, he's still not fully fit yet. He's not had the service when he's come on. I just think, every Sunderland fan's willing, just waiting for Defoe's first goal, and we all want that. Also, just very quickly, I'm checking here. We're just two new subscribers of 8.4, 8,400. So if two of you want to just hit the subscribe button, that would help us, and it's free to do so. Jack, do we change your winning team?
I get what the people are saying. It's very hard when you have a performance as good as we played yesterday. It's very, very hard to look at that and pick faults. If everyone's fit, unless we've got any knocks from yesterday, which I don't know, it's very difficult to change it. The only thing would possibly be, I think, something Terry's touched on in the past, which is to put Hume at right back, maybe move Winchester into the midfield, centre mid, and then that would allow you to drop Corey Evans, who I'm not a fan of, and I don't think had a great game yesterday. He was one of the only ones that didn't really stand out. He didn't do anything poor, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a 4 or a 5 out of 10, but it was the only one that really I wouldn't say had a great game, and I know our fans aren't a huge fan of them. That would be the only thing you could possibly look at, put Winchester in the middle and then try him at right back. But I think even Corey Evans did enough to probably warrant another game. And I think it is a cliche. It's such a cliche in football, but don't change a winning team. And when we played as well as we did yesterday, it's hard to change that system. The only issue is, like, our fans, a lot of our fans are still clamouring for Jermaine Defoe coming back in, which is, it's difficult to try and shoehorn him into the team at the minute, isn't it, with Defoe? Because obviously we brought him back to factor in between now and the end of the season, but it's difficult to see where he starts if you are going to start him. So that's maybe something we can have a look at. But yeah, it's difficult to change it when you played as well as we did yesterday.
Just very quickly on the chat, I want to say big thanks to Nat, who subscribed to our channel. He's a Sheffield Wednesday fans. So good luck to Sheffield Wednesday this season, so long as it's not at the cost of us dropping out of the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not sure, Jack, with the Jermaine Defoe thing. I think yes, a lot have wanted him in, but I think that win yesterday, if it means we're going to win and he's on the bench, I don't think too many Sunderland fans will be bothered about that. Really, I think he's always just going to be an impact player anyway, coming off the bench. Right, so see what we'll do then. Nice 3-0 win yesterday. Everybody's happy from the doom and gloom that it's been. Yesterday's win, has probably deflected a lot of heat off Madrox, the consortium, Donald Metvin, etc. So the question I want to put to you, if we was to go up now this season, get promoted, all right, do you think the fans would be less bothered about them sort of still being part of the club? And before I go to you, I'm going to start you on this, Terry. I want to say a big thank you to Kevin Burgess, who's become our newest member of the channel. If you want to join the channel, it's less than 50 pence a week. Details are in the description below. Terry, people are going to be less bothered if we actually go up this season?
No, I think we'll all remember and all know what's gone on at the clubs. I think there's more chance of them selling up if we get promoted at the end of the season. So for two reasons, we want to get promoted because we want to be up in the Championship. But for another reason, if we do get promoted, I think Madrox, two of them anyway, will definitely sell up and get more money for the shares, which that's all they've wanted since they've come in. So I still want them out regardless. And I think the majority of the fans will as well. We haven't got short memories, we've got long memories. We know when old salmon pants, not many people like salmon pants. So I think nobody will forget about that.
Right, okay. Just very quickly on the chat, Martin Smith says, just got on, what's Dino done to his hair and beard? Well, and he has changed his name to Ems as well. So to be fair, Ems normally does have a beard. Yeah, I mean, I noticed when I was going underneath at half time yesterday, there was somebody unfurling a banner, and I'm sure it was a Madrox thing. I didn't actually see it. So it's not going to go away. Jack, do you think people are going to be less likely to be as noisy about this consortium if we actually go up?
Yeah, you were right, Phil. There was an anti-Madrox banner in the UAE yesterday. You're right on that one. I didn't personally see it. I just saw it on, I think, Twitter. Someone had a photo on Twitter that there was an anti-Madrox banner. It shouldn't, and I don't think it will. Like Terry's touched on, we'll have long memories at Sunderland. We shouldn't let the good end of the season, if we do have a good end of the season, and promotion colour the fact that they've ran the club very shiftily over the last few years. No real investment. There's still doubts over the actual money that they paid for the club. The comments that they're making that are being leaked that they probably don't know that we are seeing as fans, were the alleged comments that they're making, somewhat degrading the supporters and criticising the fans, which is always a bad thing to do when you've got a fan base as passionate as we are. And ultimately, it's not hugely successful even if we do go up, because it's probably taken them 3 or 4 years if not more to go up. So it's not like we should be grateful really that they've gotten us promoted at the kind of third, fourth, whatever it is, fifth attempt of asking. So I mean, it's one of those, like you say, we have to look at the long-term vision of the football club, and regardless of what level Sunderland are at, the long term under this football club isn't good under them. I'm sorry, they're going to be penny pinching, and that they're not the right men for our football club. So it doesn't matter what level we're at. They want to be gone. They need to go from the football club. I think they're probably more likely to sell though. They're probably going to get more attractive offer. They're probably going to get more people interested in buying Sunderland, because the thing is, when you're in the Championship, you're only one good season away from the promised land of the Premier League. So more likely that we'll get them sold, but we shouldn't. These people should be nowhere near our football club, regardless of what level we're at.
Yeah, there's loads of people on the chat already saying. Andrew Robbins, who's the serial online shopper, says Madrox out, as does Mick Griffiths there. Sunderland till I die, Madrock's out. Dave Jones, the Bolton fan, saying Madrock's out as well. On the chat, Ben Hansen, your husband there, Emma, saying there was a small banner at full time yesterday, got smacked in the head by the bloke rolling it up. It said Madrock's out. And while we're on, we'll say a big thank you to Ben and Emma, who collected our flag yesterday, which we managed to have up there on display. We finally got it into a football ground yesterday. So there's the three handsome lads with the banner there. And we've just been joined here. Get out of my bin by, hang on, I've got to try and get this off if I can find it. We've been joined by Collins here. Hello. Woo-hoo! Right, okay, you've said your bit. Yeah. There you go. Back. That's it. Stay off me bin. No, off me bin. So, Emma, Madrox, you know, if we get promoted, is it less? Oh, you was on there, look. Say hello.
Hi.
Are we less likely to be kicking up a stink? I just think it'll just be the same, Emma.
They need to go. There's no doubt about that. The fans aren't going to forget it. But if we go up, are they going to sell? I don't think they will. I think they're going to want to stay to see if we go to the Premier League to make more money. And I think that's going to boil the fans even more. Because what have they done for us, realistically?
I'll tell you what they've done.
Apart from lying to us.
No, I'll tell you what they've done. They've we have the club shop open now 2 days a week. That's all right. You can't actually buy a ticket on the morning of the game if you actually physically go to the ground. There's all sorts of stuff like that. Penny pinching, that was another good one of theirs. Terry, you was one then.
Yeah, well, let's be realistic. If they get promoted to the Championship, they're going to want to sell for me because they've got no money to spend to keep us in the Championship. So we'll be struggling in the Championship because there's no way KLD is going to spend money if Salmon Pants doesn't spend any money in Donald Duck. So they're going to want to get out as soon as possible because that's probably about as high as they can take us.
Yeah, that's a good point. What Spanner Man makes the new seats is that was a good move. If anything,
scrape the barrel there, like Phil.
If we're gonna give them a bit of credit, you got to give them credit for the new seats, though. I mean, that was a good move. Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll move on from that then. It's rumored that the season ticket prices are going to be going up for next season. So, what are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Not great, considering a lot of lads that I've spoken to have said that they're not going while Madrox are there. I know it's the type of thing that you say in the heat of the moment when you're losing games, but I know quite a lot of people that haven't renewed, so I think it's a wrong idea. I know you might, you make more money from those that are going to renew out regardless, but you should be encouraging people to try and come to the game. And we've had some bad few years, and a lot of people I know have said that they're not going to renew next season, so putting the prices up might just be the killer for a lot of people. They might just confirm that they're definitely not going to do it. So not great. No, I know people say get as much money in the club as you can, but I think it's a bad idea. And particularly nowadays, people don't have as much money, Phil. Bills are going up, food's going up. People are finding that making ends meet's difficult. So the one thing they're going to cut out is probably a season ticket. So it's wrong, bad move.
Yeah. I mean, I did think about this before I came on, and I thought, you know what, they've been the tickets have been frozen, the prices have been frozen for quite a while, and at the end of the day, prices do go up. But I just think, you nailed it when you said, especially with everything what's come out with the Stuart Donald and Metvin involvement, if some people were having doubts on whether they were going to renew or not, putting the season ticket price up. It's probably going to be the nail in the coffin, really, for doing that. Emma, your thoughts on it? Season, I mean, it's only rumored, but they've said it's unlikely there's going to be a price freeze. Your thoughts on it?
Well, the prices went up last season.
Did they
not
really?
by much. Because obviously, with the season getting ended, curtailed, those that 2 seconds, I've got a cat climbed on it. the players that decided to renew and let the direct debits go and stuff like that when we didn't get into the stadiums, their money was collected in a pot, but then you had to pay that little bit extra on top of that for your season ticket. So they've already put them up for this season. So if they put them up next season, I think they will lose a lot of families, because as Jack said, everything's going up. It's inflation. Who's going to be able to afford another, 20 quid? If it's 20 quid, if you've got 5 people in the household, 5 season tickets, that's what, 100 quid. 100 quid's a week's worth of shopping. So they put the season tickets up. It's going to buy the fans even more, and they're going to want rid of them. They're going to want Sam and Pants out, and they're going to want Donald out. And it's just going to add fire to the fuel. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem. I mean, there's been some pretty dire business decisions made since they've been in anyway. But I think it would be sort of like, a bit kamikaze to do something, especially the way the fans are feeling, to then say, oh, and by the way, if you was thinking about renewing, we're going to put them up as again. I just doesn't make good business sense. Nigel Dunn, very much a friend of the show, and probably one of Karen's biggest fans now, says, love the way that Philly's Karen is funnier and more beautiful than Stuart Donald's missus for all his money. So she'll love you for that. I'm sure she will. Terry, season tickets going up. I mean, are you planning renewing anyway next season, and your thoughts on them going up?
It just all depends on the world, doesn't it? I mean, if the gas prices are going to be going up again, another 33% in October, and all the shopping and the price of petrol is going to be going up sky high. So we'll soon find out when it comes round to closer to the date. But the only way they can justify putting any kind of price up is if we get promoted to the Championship, and that's what Madrox is probably wanting to do. This smells of Madrox all over. I think if it was down to KLD and he owned the club outright, I don't think he would. I think this smells of Madrox all over, but they'll be hoping that we get promoted so they can actually do that.
Right, okay. And plus you'll be not necessarily renewing straight away because of what you were saying before we come on air. We might not even have a ground to go to, will we?
It's not worth thinking about a nuclear war, Philly. It's not worth thinking about.
Exactly. KLD as well. I mean, people go on about, this money's in trust until he's 25. I think he's 25 in December. So like it could be that. Imagine the transfer window in January 2023, and he's got his hands on all that money as well. Terry, you was one in.
He's not going to spend all that money if Madrox is still there, taking it all back. So I mean, the only way he'll spend that money by buying out Madrox if he wanted to stay at the club. If he wants to spend all of his money on Sunderland or spend some of his money on Sunderland, he's going to want the whole club first.
Right, okay, Andrew Robbins.
Restricted anyway, aren't you, Phil? You're restricted anyway with what you can spend. It comes down to what you make as a club as well. So it's not like we can just go out and spend like 40 million to get promoted. We'll probably find a way to make a mess of that anyway, even if we did spend that much money.
Yeah, the financial fair play rules sort of kick in as well. I know that. Andrew Robbins, the serial online shopper, says, support the team, not the regime. Just out of interest, if you did feel strongly enough about wanting the Madrox consortium out, the sort of protest, for me, the strongest way to get them out for me is to not renew, not invest money. And you can't do it this season because you've already spent your money on your season ticket, so they already have that. But I was interested. Be interested to hear your thoughts on where they normally put this thing of renew early and get a discount and stuff like that. I think if everybody agreed not to do that, you could still, if you wanted to renew in the summer, but that I think would send out a message to them to say, actually, there's enough of the fan base here are willing to not do that early renewal to sort of give them worries. Jack? Thoughts on that? Do you agree?
Yeah, it's a difficult one for me, Phil, because like I always say, you know, I love going to the match and I love, you know, meeting my mates and stuff like that. And it's a real part of the routine, and you have a few drinks and everything, and it sets you up for the Saturday. So I'm fully want them gone as every Sunderland fan does. And if I thought it would, then I would potentially not renew, even though I always say I would, because it's getting to the stage whereby, you know, no good can come of them coming from the football club, and that's the hardest way to hit them in the pocket by not renewing next year. So it's a difficult one for me though, because it's one of the things I look forward to. You know, once I've finished work, it's the match on a Saturday, and I've got my season card for the away tickets and the away points. So I don't know. It's a good one.
Yeah, but that's sort of what I was saying. For the likes of people like you, who, you know, I was said, I mean, I said I'll renew anyway. I can't see myself not renewing, but it's sort of a way of putting a message out there. You know, it would mean you could still buy your ticket, you know, in the summer, right? But it's sort of showing that, you know, if push came to shove, there's enough people here are not happy and show them by not renewing early, even though, you know, it would give you the option to buy in the summer.
I just hope we get promoted. That's my I hope we get promoted, and then we get rid of them. I know that they're probably selling an inflated price, but if we can get promoted and get new investments, then that would be the ideal scenario for us. That we get promoted and new investor comes in and new direction for the club that has an idea of what they're doing and the financial backing to back it up. That's my hope. But
right. Well, fair enough. That's I mean, that's what David Jones, who's the Bolton fan, says. Strongest way to get rid of them is to get promoted, which is probably right. Ian Barron there is a Darlington FC fan, says, please come and support us. We need money to survive. So that's a fair point. If you're in the Darlington area and, you know, go along and see the likes of Darlington and these clubs who need the money, you know, right down there. So hopefully, you know, we'll send some supporters your way, Ian. Emma, you know, your thoughts on not renewing early?
The thing is, Phil, you've got these supporters that have had the same seats for what, 10, 15, 20 years. They're not going to want to risk not being able to get the same seats again. So they are going to do it.
No, but this is, but it answers that argument as well, because if everybody agrees not to do that, then the seats are still available, you know, because nobody's done it. So you go, then you buy it in the summer and your seat's still there. It's not like, you know, I know it's not going to work like that because not every single person will do it, but sort of I understand what you.
I was going to say, who's actually going to physically do it though? How many fans is going to get behind this? It could just be 5,000, and then there could be 15,000 that will. This is the problem we've got.
I was just trying to come up. I was trying to come up with a solution. What might, because you're not going to get everybody not to renew, and that. So I was trying to come up with a solution. What would at least send a message out, and it was a way of saying, right, well, we won't renew early. We'll make you sweat a bit, and then all do it together. And I thought it was a bit of a compromise to put a message out to them. There's no easy solution. Terry, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, there's two reasons why I won't be like sort of buying a ticket early anyway. First of all, I'd support that, doing that for a way of showing solidarity against the Madrocks. And secondly, unlike you three, I have to go to work. I was grafting yesterday when you were gallivanting down to Wigan. That's the reason why I couldn't go to Wigan yesterday, because I had to do some hard graft all the morning from 5 o'clock in the morning all the way through lunchtime. So I won't be able to buy a season card straight away till I know what all the bills are going to be like during the summertime. So that's another reason why I won't be buying a season card straight away. And obviously I'm going to be moving seat as well, because where I'm sitting now is fucking shite.
Oh, God, honestly, my heart bleeds for you. I mean, I'm grafting tonight as well.
So I'm a grafter, Phil. Unlike you, Phil, I'm a grafter. I do proper work. Right. I don't just play music, dance around a club all night. I do proper hard graft, mental, physical hard graft.
Funny shit, we're not going to get time for it now because we're running out. But I did want to get on to these players being tired things, and that it does coincide with proper jobs like what I do and like what you do, Terry. So it does just about wrap it up. We are at a time. Those other things I wanted to touch on. Before I do go, I want to give a shout out to something we're doing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, live on SAFC Fan TV. our very own Jack Dodds is doing a question and answer session with Kieran Brady, the former Sunderland player, a bit of a superstar he was back in the day. Terry, you'll remember Kieran Brady. You and I, I'm not sure others will. But if you want to tune in for that, that is 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Have your say. Put your questions in via the live chat. We will put it on the socials anyway as well. If you want to ask any questions, put questions to Kieran tomorrow. Stick them down there as well. So that is our very own Jack Dodds. Who'll be interviewing Kieran Brady on a question and answer interview tomorrow at 7 o'clock live on SAFC Fan TV. So just make sure you tune in for that if you would. It's been a good one. We've got plenty of likes on there now, which we're happy with. Emma, thanks for joining us for the first time as a guest there. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I have. It's been good.
Right.
Thanks for having it.
Would you like to say bye to the lovely boys and girls on the channel?
Bye, boys and girls.
All right, there you go. Terry, just say bye to everyone.
Just say goodbye to everybody.
There you go. And Jack?
See you later, lads and lasses.
There you go. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you are a member of SAFC Fan TV, watch for your name scrolling up in the credits as we leave. Thanks. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.